Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I get to share with you a project for LDRS Creative, and we're using the Thank You stamp set. This is not a red rubber stamp set, it's a gray. I don't even know if it's a rubber, but it's a gray stamp. And so you'll have to remove your pad if you're using a stamp positioner, or the MISTI rather. But these stamps here stamp the most clean, fine-lined image you can imagine. In fact, the image that's shown on the front of the stamp is perfect, of course, but the line when you stamp it is even finer than that line, if that makes any sense. But love the way these stamp. So I stamped all the U's. There's 3 in total. The little fence and the tree. We're going to create a scene using these images. I'll ink them up with my Raven ink pad. It's a hybrid ink pad that works great for alcohol marker coloring. And there's my fine-lined images. Aren't there? The detail in them is so neat. We're going to do a little bit more stamping, but this time we're going to stamp the little hillside that's in the stamp set. And this is going to be my background. So we're going to stamp towards the middle of our panel here. And everything's included in this little hillside. You have the little blades of grass with a few little flowers. And I'll ink that up and stamp that with my Raven ink pad as well. I'm going to color in all of my images today with my Copic markers. So I'll zoom in and I'll play a little bit of music while I color, and then when I'm done, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Now what I'm going to do is take my scissors and fussy cut out just my first panel with all the sheep on there. And then for my second panel, we're going to bring in some dies. I'm using the Practically Oval frame set, and we're going to take the largest 2 of the set. The largest one has such a pretty edge on it, and there is embossed detail around that edge, and I just love it. And then the oval in the center has decorative edge too, which is so pretty. Now I die cut them both out along with the background panel that was I created with the largest of the frames. I'm going to add some tape to the center, and then I'm going to layer them both together. This way I can just line them up, and then remove my frame piece. And then my oval in the center is perfectly matted on my background panel. I'm going to take some foam tape. I'm going to remove the release paper, and we're going to go around the entire edge of our frame, just adding a little bit of dimension to our little scene. And then before we adhere our frame, we're going to stamp our sentiment. I chose the sentiment in the stamp set that says thank you. It has such a pretty font, and I thought it'd fit perfectly in our little oval background. So I'll ink that up with my black ink. Stamp that a few times so it's nice and crisp image. Isn't that a pretty font? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and line up my frame and put it back on in its home, so that little grassy border completes it once more. I think this is a neat way to kind of decorate your frame. And I got a little ink on my background, so I'm just erasing it off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and adhere this to a standard A2 size card base. Just add a little bit of tape behind our panel, and then we'll secure that right in the center. Lovely. Okay, next I kind of went a little crazy with my Copic coloring, and so some areas of my fence I went to outside the lines, so I'm just taking a white gel pen and cleaning up my mess ups. White gel pens come in great, and I use it all the time to clean up my Copic marker messes. Once that was done, I'm going to go ahead and add some foam squares behind all of my little elements and place them in our little background. And then I just love the way that looks. The bottom two I did double up on my foam tape so they're one level higher, just so they look like they're popped out a little bit. Kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. Okay, for bells and whistles, I'm bringing in some pink gems. There's 3 little flowers in my little grassy area, and I thought we'd add a little dimension and shimmer to each one of the flower centers. So just using my glue, I added a dot, and we'll take one of those gems and put it in each one of those little flowers. And then I thought we'd add a little extra sparkle, but I wanted to keep it subtle because my card is mostly white, and I really like that look. If you wanted to color in a blue background, you could for the sky, but I kind of like that white. It just gives it a little softness to me. So I added some clear, sparkling clear sequins, about 3 to each one of my little U's. That way when you tilt it, it kind of sparkles. And then we'll go ahead and finish off the rest of our sentiment on the inside. I chose the sentiment that says, "You are very sheepiated." I love the punny little sentiment. It just makes me happy. But there's also a little decorative element that I think is meant to go with the little stars in the stamp set. But I think it will create a nice little decorative element to this sentiment on the inside. So just using my black ink, I'm going to ink it up and stamp right above my sentiment on the right, and then below my sentiment in the front on the left. And I thought about adding one to the front, but sometimes I go overboard, and I thought I'm happy with it, I'm just going to keep it. But that's my card today, guys, using the Thank You stamp set from LDRS Creative. If you're interested in anything that you see today or like, I'll link it down below. Thanks so much for stopping by. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.